Have you ever felt lonely in a crowded room? It is a strange paradox. We are surrounded by laughter, by voices, by people who know our name. Yet, we feel completely invisible. We realize that being near people is not the same as being with them. Why is it that the loudest rooms can feel like the quietest places on earth? This was the silence that lived behind the smile of Lira. At this very moment, she stood at the center of a grand, vibrant masquerade ball. The room was a kaleidoscope of color and sound, a swirling vortex of silk, velvet, and shimmering jewels. People were toasting her, raising their glasses high. They were laughing at her witty remarks, leaning in to catch every word. She was the sun around which this entire social galaxy seemed to orbit. And she was wearing a beautiful mask, an exquisite piece of artifice, crafted from porcelain and gold leaf. It smiled for her. But while the mask smiled, Lira's eyes were empty. Behind the gilded facade, she felt like an object, a decoration admired but not known. Each laugh she offered, each charming story she told, was a line from a script she had memorized long ago. She was exhausted by the performance. The weight of it was immense. Here she was, surrounded by hundreds of people, and yet she was profoundly, achingly connected to no one. The shallow chatter felt like a physical pressure suffocating her. She needed to escape. With a final, practiced smile to a passing admirer, Lira slipped away from the dazzling chaos. She found a dim, quiet balcony, a small pocket of peace overlooking the sleeping city gardens. The cool night air was a welcome relief. There, almost lost in the shadows, sat an old man. He was not playing the beautiful cello that rested beside him. He was simply listening to the wind as it whispered through the stone balustrades. He wore no mask. There was a deep contentment in his posture, a man at peace in his solitude. This was Cadden. Lira leaned against the railing, the distant party music, now just a faint thrum. She let out a long sigh, a sound more honest than any word she had spoken all night. "It is so loud inside," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "Everyone is talking, but no one is saying anything." Cadden turned his head slowly, his unseeing eyes seeming to look right through her. He nodded. "They are trading noises, not truths." His voice was like the low, resonant notes of his cello, calm and deep. He gestured towards her face. "May I ask, why do you wear that?" Lira's hand instinctively went to her mask. She felt a flash of vulnerability, as if he could see the tired woman underneath. "It makes them like me," she confessed. "It hides the parts of me that are sad or boring, the parts they wouldn't understand." Cadden smiled, a gentle, knowing expression. "And that is why you are lonely," he said softly. "You cannot be seen if you are hidden. A wall protects you from pain, yes, but it also blocks the light. You have built a fortress so impenetrable that not even kindness can find its way in." Lira felt a prickle of defensiveness, but his calm demeanor disarmed her. She remained silent, listening. Cadden reached over and lightly plucked a string on his cello. It made a dull, lifeless thud. "Connection," he began, "is like this cello string. If it is too loose, too safe, too guarded, it makes no sound. It offers no music. It just exists." He then turned a tuning peg, tightening the string. He plucked it again. This time, a clear, beautiful note sang out into the night air, vibrant and full of feeling. "To make music," he continued, "the string must be stretched. It must bear tension. It must risk snapping. To be known, Lira, you must risk being rejected. To be loved, you must risk being hurt. Loneliness is not the absence of people. It is the absence of vulnerability. You are not lonely because no one is there. You are lonely because the real you is not there. Each word landed like a stone in a still pond, sending ripples through Lira's understanding of her entire life. A bolt of lightning, the mask, the performance, the exhaustion, it all made sense. She looked at the ornate mask now held in her hands. She had always believed she was lonely because people ignored her, because they were too shallow to see past the surface. But the truth was far more painful and far more hopeful. She was lonely because she had never let them see her. She had been presenting a performance, a carefully curated character, and you cannot bond with a performance. You cannot connect with a ghost. The fear was still there. The terrifying thought of being truly seen with all her flaws, her sadness, her quiet moments. But for the first time, a new feeling bloomed alongside the fear. It was hope, the hope of a real connection, a genuine laugh, a shared silence that was comfortable, not empty, the hope of being known. She thanked the old musician, her voice thick with emotion. He simply nodded, turning back to listen to the wind, his lesson complete. Lira did not stay on the balcony. She walked back towards the light and the noise of the party. But this time, she walked differently. She walked with purpose. As she stepped into the grand ballroom, she did not put the mask back on. For a moment, she felt naked, exposed, but she held her ground. She no longer scanned the room for the most important person to impress. She didn't try to reclaim her spot at the center of it all. Instead, her eyes found a quiet corner where a young woman stood alone, looking just as lost as Lira had felt. Lira walked over, the noisy crowd blurring into an unimportant background. She sat down. She didn't start with a clever joke or a grand story. She started with a simple, genuine question. And for the first time all night, she listened, truly listened to the answer. In that moment, the enormous, loud room disappeared. There were only two people sharing a small, quiet truth. Lira was no longer in a crowded room. She was with someone.